What's good, everybody? It is an hour of Blackout with, of course, your host, Rumandapples. Always joined by my good friend and boss, this motherfucker known as Beeoriginaldesigns, CEO, owner of blackoutmedia.net. And, once again, we are, I guess, graced by the appearance of my boy Can. We Can Game. What's going on, baby?
It's going well. It's going well. How are you, Rum?
Oh, stoned, but not stoned enough. Oh God, you know what, P? I'm starting to readily recognize why we don't get sponsors all that much anymore.
Yeah, it's because of your addiction to being in the clouds.
It's not my fault that my views on the gaming industry greatly differ depending on how high I get. Okay, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Maybe if the game industry pushed out something reliable and worthwhile, it wouldn't have to get high to try to appreciate it. Just saying. Just saying.
It's like, I'll never get sponsored because, you know, I won't say a product's good if it's not. You'll never get sponsored because you bash on everything. And Khan's always going to get sponsored because he just has that magical touch.
Well, Khan's a lovely, lovely person. That's why he gets sponsored. Or he just tweets angrily and people send him products.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
It's pretty badass, the fact that all you gotta do is say, this product fucking sucks on Twitter, then they go, well, how dare you? We're gonna send you free stuff to prove to you our product is awesome. I love it. I love it.
That's actually kind of funny.
Well.
That's exactly how it happened, man. I'm so proud that it went down like that. But I know we got a lot of freedom stuff to get into today. We have a shitload. I mean, as far as Blackout right now, not too much. Not too much other than Marcel, really busted ass on the site, and he's updated the support page.
Yeah, Marcel went, balls to the walls and made everything look pretty.
Yeah, he really did. And likewise, guys, if you're not on the Blackout Media forums, please go to blackoutmedia.net and sign up for them. We put a lot of effort into making those really pretty and usable for you guys, so, hey, use them. Why not, right? Interact with the motherfucking partners you're in a network with.
Oh, that reminds me. Something Blackout related I think people would actually enjoy hearing about. I was looking at the support email last night, and this weird email came in from this guy that was looking to have a part on his camera fixed. And I was like, well, okay, it's nice that you want me to fix it, but, I don't know how to do that. I don't work with hardware. And I started looking at the email, and I realized that he typed the domain he was trying to contact backwards.
Okay, that's a little odd.
So apparently there's actually a company called Media Blackout that fixes hardware. And he did the domain backwards, and it forwarded to our support email. And I was like, I think you got the wrong guy.
Yeah, you definitely got the wrong guys. I mean, we'll help you out, but we can't fix your camera for you. That's out of our qualifications here.
Oh, it was great, though.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. I love that little fuck up. That's
that is a unique feature of Blackout, I just found out. Live camera fixing, camera support.
Could you imagine if we did that? We'll fix your devices. Send them on in. Oh shit.
We'll fix up your art. We'll fix up your channel. We'll fix up your cameras.
Oh my god.
Next thing you know, we're gonna have the Resident Evil 4 merchant guy coming in here.
Oh god.
What are you selling? I'll buy that for a high price, What am I repairing?
I know what we're selling. Looks at the camera. Pain.
Yes! Yes, thank you! Thank you for that Mr. T reference. Oh my god, folks. Ken and I have gone on this journey, and somewhat of a painful journey, doing a retrospective series on Rocky. Holy fuck, is that thing... It's tasking in a way. It really is.
I feel like we started the rise, and I think we're kind of hitting the fall. We're getting towards that point. The more and more I'm starting to watch these films.
Yeah, the more I watch them, the more I realize we've bitten off way more than we can chew.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, it's perfectly fine. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, if anybody goes to it, if you want something. It's strictly for entertainment. It is not something you want to go to for a deep, Well, I take that back, actually. It's funny, but we are insightful on it from time to time.
Yeah, and I mean, that's where our good chemistry comes off, because you have the critic mindset, but I have the film knowledge, and I also have a critical mindset too, so we bounce off each other really well in that regard.
That's very true, man. I try to enjoy it. I do, as much as I possibly can. I do enjoy it. I really do. I like Rocky, but, I'll watch Rocky. Ah, man. Tune in to episode 3, coming soon. That's how I'll end that one. Shit.
Yep.
Fuck, but, man, as far as freedom stuff goes, now, the Freedom School idea got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And, no surprise to anybody there. That should have became very apparent from people. I just want to reflect on this bad idea because there was some good tidbits of information that could be dissected from it and used in other applications. I mean, the Freedom School in itself is not a bad idea. It's just the way that it was directed didn't make a lot of sense.
I can agree on that.
It felt like he was pandering toward an audience that was there, but it didn't seem credible.
I mean,
well, George, he's much of an idea man, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but go on.
You'd think if they really wanted to do a school and they wanted to make it YouTube related, why don't they just try and start a film school? It wouldn't be that hard.
Or better yet, why not just connect to the YouTube Creators Academy, which is basically a YouTube film school?
Yeah,
I do that all the time.
It's not as if Freedom couldn't accomplish that feat. It's completely plausible within their boundaries. It really is. They're a pretty big network. They're very big. They have the money to invest in this. I found it very confusing and almost backward thinking in the sense of they were trying to do this Freedom School, then they were promoting it towards kids, and I didn't see a lot of concentration in that aspect. Then it got shelved, and then now it's gone, and thank God it's gone, first of all. It wasn't the right direction, but I think there could be adaptations made to it, such as a film school, such as working with the creator studio. I think it'd be more viable, to be honest, and more accessible.
Oh, I agree with
George
that.
was at VidCon recently. Maybe he could have done,
Did they prove
a
he's the
workshop
Terminator
at
yet?
VidCon. No, I don't think they did.
That actually
Shit.
is in the works. VidCon has some requirements. Since we're such a new YouTube network, one of the requirements is you have to have attended VidCon before. So we actually had that requirement down, so possibly we might get a booth. Don't quote me on that, but it would be something, like that's one of the requirements. You have had to have attended a VidCon before, which makes sense.
If George ever happens to watch this show, I would very much like it if he would, bring me out to VidCon with him, because I'm actually in the state where VidCon happens. I'm only an hour away. If he pays my ticket, I'll go down there.
Out of all of this, it's very crazy in a way when anybody who listens to this show would think someone of George's seniority at Freedom would even listen to Blackout, but I think he does. I really think he does.
He's watched a few.
I know he has, and I think what Freedom does is what any other big company does. They might not pay attention to everything that we do or what we say about Freedom, but for fucking sure, guaranteed, every now and then when they want to find out the direction of how the public perceives Freedom to a degree when it comes to partners like us or whatnot, a very opinionated, critical thinking people, I think they lick their finger and put it in the air to see which way the wind blows. And I think that they come to us at some point in time. I really believe that they do. Because it would be stupid for them not to at least look at somebody, at least network-wise, because we're a sub-network still. But I think we do something that other networks don't do, is we openly criticize Freedom to a very honest degree. And now, mind you, we criticize them openly, but we don't take cheap shots. We also compliment them when they do something right. So I think that's something that needs to be done in a way. I don't think there's that many other people that are doing it. I think Freedom takes that in consideration with all the other things that they look at when they do look at what's the kind of consensus on the outlook of Freedom at the time. I mean, I don't know how you think about that, Ken. I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
So basically you want my thoughts on Freedom looking at Blackout, an Hour of Blackout, when they're looking for, critiques and such?
Well, essentially, yeah.
Well, I can't say for anyone besides myself, but I do know that Anthony Smith has watched a lot of the shows. I know he started watching more recently. I know that Real Sykes has. I know I do. I know McGann watches. Danny watches. Nerd watches. So, I mean, there's a lot of Freedom staff who watch the show. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying that's the essential point. Maybe it's not George that is watching all the shows, but there are staff members. It's essentially known within the inside at Freedom that Blackout does exist, and we are critical of that company and the people working there.
No, for sure. And I know George has messaged me that he has seen me on the show before, so that would lead me to believe he's watched it.
That's a terrifying thought because I have said everything about that man from he's a Terminator to Ernest his father to like all these wild theories about the man. So kudos to him for being such a good sport. Seriously. Seriously. I've said some fucked up shit about the guy.
You know, my favorite thing was I got a chance to interview George on my channel, and he hears that Ernest is his son more than anything. And I just imagine how many times a day he hears it, and I just find it hilarious.
I still want George to be on this show someday.
He's possible, but like what I've learned about George, and like any CEO, he is busy and he works on deals, and he like I've seen a little bit of
I'm still trying for Anthony.
Anthony was more reasonable, but I still don't know why he hasn't gotten back to you guys on that. You're going to need to message him about that, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. I was a little.
Check his Skype.
I was irritated that he didn't show up, but I mean, then the excuse he gave was not exactly one that I accept. You know what I mean? But I don't hold it against him. If he wants to come back on, come back on. It's not a personal thing.
He was nice enough to shout us out on a vlog, though. So
no, absolutely. I'm not taking any cheap shots against the guy. It's just I wish he gave us a little more heads up about it. That's basically all it is. I just wish he gave us a fucking heads up, Anthony. I love you to death, man, but just next time, send us a tweet or a text. God damn it.
Khan saved his ass.
Yeah. Can became Can Smith for a day. That was interesting. I never imagined you with the shaved head, Can. I gotta be honest. It was a little different. It was very different.
Different time.
It was a different time. It was parallel universe Can. Holy shit. But goddamn, I mean, Freedom is one of those odd entities because obviously you can't do everything right to make everybody happy, but they seem to please the majority of people most of the time, but yeah, they try. And we have seen a lot of infrastructure issues with them over the last, I'd say 6 months. But now we're getting in this direction where they're starting to right themselves a little bit.
Well, like, we've been getting, like, a lot of internally, we've been getting new people in, a lot of new minds, just new creative ideas. And it's really starting to show, especially in, like, for example, on the forums, we're starting to get Position Music now post, Epidemic Sound now post. We have TubeBuddy posting. We have all these huge sponsors who, like, many YouTube forums have offered them to post, but they don't. I mean, we have the largest YouTube forum currently, and we rival most forums just in size alone. So, I mean, we have a community here that's amazingly large. And I can say that we've had so much structure, like, we actually are able to look for more mods now on the forums, which is something that we had to fight for before, but it's like, now they're like, go for it.
I'm glad you're able to do that now. It's going to make the workload a shitload easier on you guys. Because I know the forum mods, major fucking kudos to all of you, because I know you guys are breaking your metaphorical backs doing that workload. I'm just happy that it's going to be a lot easier for you guys coming up soon.
Mm-hmm. And we got rid of a lot of partners who were we're not accepting everyone anymore, which is surprising. Like, we actually are like thoroughly reviewing their content.
Thank God.
Which I've started to see happen, which is good for me. Not just for me on the forums, but good for the community, because that means like people with 0 videos aren't getting in anymore. People with copyright content aren't getting in anymore. I mean, it's a lot of good positive things.
That actually used to piss me off, because especially as a network owner, when I would log into my dashboard and I would see that Freedom approved a channel with TOS problems or copyright issues or something like that.
Now, there's still a few that get through, because obviously we have such a mass amount applying compared to... But there is now at least a little more human touch to it, which is very needed, I feel.
Yeah. I still have to deny a few, but it's gotten better recently.
Well, it's one of those deals where... Was Freedom working using an automated system originally, or was it just the oversight wasn't there? They just kind of didn't care.
It was more the fact that it was a little bit of both. YouTube has an automated system, so YouTube is weird because sometimes it doesn't detect copyright, though it is. So it's a little bit of both.
That's unfortunate. But you know what? At the least, silver lining, there's a human element being applied there now. So these shit channels aren't getting leaked through anymore, or as much. So I got to give them credit there. I have to, because that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The last thing, and even from a network standpoint, and B can understand this, and so can you, Ken, and I'm sure Freedom does too. They don't want people who are going to be violating the terms of service or terms of use, whatever you want to call it. And they want people who are going to be at least credible, reliable in such a providing stuff to, I guess, make the numbers go up.
Yeah, and there have been a lot more people joining us lately because we've been seeing that a lot of networks have been promising and not following through. And I mean, for one thing I will say about Freedom, I know a lot of networks have issues with this, and even Freedom to a point, but we don't lock you in. Like, that's one thing I take pride in. Like, we will let you go.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to talk to you about, the differences between other networks claiming that it's a no lock-in contract, but we're starting to see that that's not the case.
Yeah, that's starting to pop up more and more, sadly, which I don't like seeing it, because personally, if you say you're a no lock-in, be a no lock-in. Now, obviously, Freedom is a no lock-in contract, but we have a 30-day requirement due to that's a YouTube term. There's not much we can do about that. But if you request unlink, we will let you go, and we will pay you what you have earned. Now, if you are a copyright channel, you earn nothing, but we do our best to make sure everyone gets paid what they're owed. Now, I have seen a few issues where they haven't been paid, but we've been working on getting their payments, and it's finally starting to go through. So that goes back to the whole things are starting to look really good for Freedom.
Well, no, see, this, and you know, it's kind of weird because usually when it comes to an hour of blackout, when we talk about Freedom, it's a lot more negative than positive. This go around has seriously been more of kind of like a rah-rah to Freedom in a way.
It's surprising, but
it's surprising me. No, Gad, it's fucking surprising me. Like, I'm one of the most critical people on Freedom. I'm surprised they're even networking me still. The amount of shit that I've said about them. The amount.
Well, you always give critiques. Like, we don't take anyone's video down that's negative about Freedom, but if you have, a negative opinion, we will try to figure out what went wrong, what can we do to fix it. And I mean, not every time we can fix it, because some channels just, what they want is unreasonable. Like, for example, there was this 100 sub channel who made a video saying Freedom's a scam, and when I watched the video, he's like, I never was featured on the hub channel. They promised me that. And I'm like, nowhere did we promise you that?
If you read, Freedom doesn't promise you anything. They promise you an opportunity to be on there.
Yes, and they also promise you tools to help you grow.
Yeah, that's a big misconception that I think a lot of people have about networks and all that kind of shit. Networks don't automatically make you grow. Networks provide you tools within that network's foundation, within its base, to grow upon your own volition. So you still have to put in the fucking work in order for any real results to happen.
Yeah.
I just want people to understand there's a big difference in what they're believing and what the actuality is. Freedom isn't promising you that they're going to make you automatically grow. You're going to sign up with 100 subs. Next day you're going to have 1,000. That's not how it works. It's just not. It's not realistic to think that way. I don't understand why people think that way anyway. Do people just not read these things? Like these long messages and rules and things that you have to understand about the terms of service, forum usage, shoutbox usage? Am I just one of the last people who just read stuff?
Well, I mean, we're in an age where everything's just so right now, so people get into this mindset where they're like, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now.
Yeah, and I'm like that with pine cones, but I still wait on them when I have to. This is real life applications, and you still got to be patient.
Well, I mean, a lot of people want YouTube to be their career, which can happen, but like it doesn't happen overnight, and that's what I always remind people. They're like, but PewDiePie, and I'm like, if you look at PewDiePie, it didn't happen overnight. I mean, it happened fast, but it didn't happen overnight. And I mean, there's always an X factor, a luck factor, good content. I mean, if I told you how many Minecraft channels I see on a day,
I bet I'm ranging in the upwards to 300 to 1,000.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, that is staggering when you say that. Oh my God.
Me and Khan are very unlucky because we spend a lot of time on the forums and we get like PMs and people will talk to us in chat and they're all like, hey, can you look at our channel? I'm just like, I really don't want to. Like, I really don't.
Well, you see, you don't. You have it easier because you get to report those people. They're like, "You're freedom staff. You're supposed to help me grow." That's what I get on a daily basis.
That's ridiculous. You're not supposed to help them grow. What are they talking about?
On Freedom, I only ever hear 2 complaints. The one complaint I hear the most is that either payments haven't been sent out or they're still waiting on back payments, which I'm actually still waiting on back payments. I'm pretty sure everyone is. And then the other complaint I hear is that people aren't getting what they were promised, which is not true. They get what they were promised. They just weren't promised anything.
Yeah, no. My thing is like when people say, where's the free music? And I link them and they're like, I don't want to download it. I'm like, how am I supposed to help you?
You can't help them at that point. It's like, you're literally too lazy.
I don't want to download it.
They are literally too lazy to click a smeggy fucking button. This is a minute of your life to download something, and then you get a plethora of shit at Epidemic Sound. I mean, I know people who use that Epidemic service. It's a good service. It really is.
Epidemic Sounds, shout out to them. They always are nice to me. They follow me on Twitter. They DM me randomly and they're like, how are you doing? And I'm like, well, fine, thanks. I mean, like, they don't have to.
I wish they'd come up and talk with me. I mean, man, I like their stuff.
Well, B, all you gotta do is rant on Twitter how certain products suck, and then you'll get nice messages from them.
They actually found me through my motivational fitness video. They noticed I used their music because their music's incredible. I will always, and right now we're fixing our issues we've been having with position music, and they're on our forums now, and like we have direct communication. We figured out all the issues, and it wasn't a position music issue or a freedom issue. It was YouTube and their ID system.
Huh.
So now there's not going to be a problem with uploading position music? Because
we've been testing, and we've seemed to be getting out of it.
Now, what is Position Music?
Position Music is a very reputable company. They do a lot of music for films, for TV shows, and they decided to give an exclusive deal with Freedom. And in fact, they wrote on our forums recently, they wrote why they chose Freedom, because lots of networks have contacted them.
I'm sure hundreds have contacted them. I'm sure.
But Position made an exclusive deal with Freedom because we love how everyone is welcome to the family, encouraged to collaborate and get to know the creator, and provide a ton of resources like free music and news clips to enhance the quality. We hope you like Freedom too. We feel that Freedom matches our goal as a professional music company, and as our original goal is to offer as much music as we can to the community of the world. So Position feels like the Freedom family helps them with that. I mean, when one of the largest companies, Position has won Oscars.
Statement. That's a big statement.
They have composers that have won Oscars. They have Emmys. I mean, these are not, like, no offense to just, people who start on YouTube and then make it a career, but these are like people who've been in the industry for years.
Well, it's bigger, more reputable names, and it's not insulting anybody who isn't technically one or came from a different background. It's just these are the people who are traditionally looked at as, holy shit, this is the big league.
Yeah.
These are coming from the big league composers.
And once they actually fix it, I'm going to use it a lot.
We're fixing it every day. We're finding more issues, but it's the YouTube, and it comes down to the YouTube Content ID system, because I know hasn't it affected you before?
Yeah. Fucking IGN tried to claim the visual content over Telltale's The Walking Dead. B was there for it. He had to deal with that issue.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me with Tomb Raider, actually, where it wasn't IGN, but it was like another random company was like, this is our gameplay. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's Ubisoft's. What? Not Ubisoft, but it's Square Enix. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, it's one of those, well, we own the gameplay. It's like, no, you don't.
And then YouTube, like, they tried to, like, fight me on it, and I linked Square Enix, like, terms of service on Tomb Raider, and they had nothing.
Of course they didn't.
And YouTube eventually, it was funny because YouTube gave that company a strike instead of me. So it was like, sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't.
I try to be very careful on what shit I fight and what shit I don't fight, because there's that whole thread of the impending strike.
Yeah, and that's a very hot topic right now on YouTube, especially with a lot of people having to deal with free use. There's the whole free use movement right now, what classifies as it, and YouTube is getting a lot of flack for it, but it is hard, especially when there's a billion Like what the figure was like, there's 1 billion minutes of content uploaded in a week on YouTube.
I would not doubt that for a second.
And I mean, that's a staggering number.
That says a lot about how much our society wants to share their experiences with. Like, let's take away all the X factors of the
YouTube
bullshit.
servers, though. God, those are...
Oh, they must be massive. They have to be massive. The amount of data.
I wonder how TV still exists.
What? How TV still exists? Because there are people who still believe in the living room environment, okay?
It's the same reason consoles still exists.
Wait, what was that, Ken?
It's the same reason consoles still exist. They prefer that living room feel.
That's something to be said. How often do you game in your living room nowadays, or just watch a movie in your living room? I don't know how often people do that anymore.
I don't leave my room.
No, like, that's one of the things gaming's supposed to do, and same with TV, but we've gotten to a point where we're becoming isolated.
Like, I can do everything in one room. I got TV, gaming consoles.
Yeah, but don't you
computers.
feel isolated to a degree? Like, part of gaming to me, part of gaming that I've always remembered was being able to play with my friends, the limited amount that I had as I was growing up, because I'm a dick, but the limited amount of friends I had, we played video games together. And then I understand online multiplayer paved a new way for everybody to play together, but it kind of fucked up the way people who play multiplayer behave. And I'm not saying this is a primary reason, but think about this, okay? Think about this. Back in the day when you wanted to play a video game, when you wanted to play multiplayer, all we had was local co-op. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you have to do? You had to go over to your friend's house, or they had to go to your house. So when you went over to a friend's house, that means you had to learn how to respect someone else's home, how to be respectful as a guest. You know what I mean? Common courtesy, general practices of like decency, right? With this online thing, online multiplayer, and this whole wave of people who believe that the internet is anonymous, which is clearly not the case anymore. It's clearly not. People have this weird thing of, since I'm on the internet, I could say whatever I want. It's like this e-thugging that still is so prevalent to this day, and I don't know why it's so accepted. I don't know why people aren't kind of shaming those types of shitty actions when they call it trolling now, but back when I was growing up, we just called those douchebags. We ignored them.
Well, like, part of the problem with that is there is still a sense of anonymity, because, like, a common everyday person can't figure out who that is easily.
Right, and you are correct in that standpoint.
But I've never understood the mindset of that. I've never understood, like, I get, like, people who like to have interesting debates and such, but there's a difference between, you know, stirring the pot for discussion and then just being a jerk.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, Ken, you and I talk about, we don't agree on a lot, but I mean, we agree on some things, but there's other things that we have a very differing opinion on, but we discuss it. Our conversations never end of, well, fuck you and you're stupid. Like, it never ends like that. It's never ended like that.
Yeah. Well, like, part of the reason people get that is because I feel there's a reason.
Right?
Yeah. But like one of the lessons of life is that you're not always going to be right. There's going to be a point in your life where you're wrong.
Oh, I'm wrong a lot. That's part of growing up, you know. At a certain age, you recognize that the world does not revolve around you. You are wrong more than you're right, but just learn from that, you know. But just become a better human. At a certain point in time, you just want to become a better human.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's something to be questioned to it, not questioned, but asked to a degree. Do you think the creation of the internet has led to a huge change in how our society perceives treatment of humans? Like how we treat each other?
I would say to a point, yeah. Because if you think about it, the likelihood of someone in someone else's, like, let's use gaming as an example.
Sure.
If I'm playing, like, let's say online multiplayer never existed. All right, so I'm at my buddy's house. I'm not going to yell in his living room, I'm going to kill your mom. No. God, no.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to kill your mom. Like, oh my God. That is, go on.
But, like, that wouldn't have happened. And if it did, that woman better hit me.
Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened growing up back in the day. You would have got whomped, and then you would have got whomped when you got back home for saying such horrible shit to your neighbor.
Exactly.
God.
I mean,
That would have been hilarious.
Ooh.
now there's also this thing, a lot of people don't realize this, is that a lot of people who troll and stuff, they have manners. They have been taught all that. Their parents have been there for them or stuff like that. It's the fact that they're not watching what they're doing. And they feel like they can get away with it because no one's watching. And that's just not true.
Well, I think that could be said for a younger generational demographic. Does that make sense? Like for the younger kids who don't really, it's kind of like when people are doing it, but they don't understand how negative the actual implications are of it. Like young people.
No, I get that.
But then there's older people who are our age or even older than us that do this as essentially their only choice of enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of a mental stability thing, or this has something to do with the psyche rather than just some kind of social analogy we can provide over gaming. But there's got to be, what's the entry point to the change in decision making from I'm going to play a game to have fun to I'm going to make people's gameplay experience worse to have fun? That's the thing I wonder about. That's what is so curious about it to me.
Sadistic motherfuckers.
Well, I'm a sadistic motherfucker too, but I don't troll people online. I don't make it a point to fucking swat somebody or ruin their gameplay experience on a multiplayer if I'm playing multiplayer at that particular time in my gaming that night. I don't
Well, like
do
my
that shit.
philosophy is like, let's say I'm playing a game and this one person is just like hounding me, making my life hell. And I'm not talking about like trolling, like they're just like, let's say Call of Duty, the example. They are just killing me because I'm inexperienced. I'm not going to troll them. I'm going to get even.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to practice to get better so I can beat them fairly. Because like if you are hacking, if you are trolling, you're not winning because you are playing the game right. You're winning because you decided that you're just going to essentially...
Well, you're cheating.
Yeah.
I actually recently experienced this on a game, and it was actually very funny.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh?
I'm waiting.
We're waiting for the story.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a lead-in.
So...
We were interested.
Rum will hate this, but I was playing Destiny.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I like to do my competitive PvP, so I went into a game, and I started off pretty bad. I was feeling pretty sick. It was not a good day. And I wasn't getting very many kills. And then at the end of the match, this guy came over to me, and he just teabagged my corpse, and he sent me a message. So like, haha, Scrub, you suck. And at that moment, he had fucked up.
All of a sudden, the fuck you revenge gene just activates in his brain.
Because, like, I'm pretty sure everyone can kind of sympathize with this. I don't care how sick I am. I don't care how tired I am. If you insult me as a person, I will get even. And the next match came around, and I literally went 12-0 against their entire team.
Motivation comes in strange forms, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just messaged him back. I was like, get good, bro.
Oh, no. Quit feeding into it. Stop feeding into it.
I didn't teabag him, though. I just messaged him back. I'm like, get good, bro. And sent him a little heart. It was cute.
That's something crazy, man. I want to talk about one more thing about gaming before I got a couple questions I want to ask Ken about his thoughts on freedom. But
Okay.
one thing about gaming that I got to wonder is, okay, the whole like cheating and multiplayer and cheating in video games, like, I bought the Game Shark when I was a kid. I had Game Genie and all that shit, but after a while, as I got older, I really realized that cheat codes were essentially like Dragon Ball Z power levels. They're fucking useless. They don't mean anything. It doesn't add anything to the interest or the intrigue. It actually takes away some of it.
Like, I can agree and disagree with that. Like, I think not so much cheat codes, but like a lot of times there are hidden codes. Like, let's use Grand Theft Auto. They were notorious for having hidden codes, where if you insert a button combination, you'll get random stuff. Like, I love things like in Grand Theft Auto, big head mode where it doesn't like alter the gameplay. It just makes everyone have big heads. That's fun. Like, that's great because it's hilarious. But like things like infinite ammo, I can see how it can ruin a game because like, where's the challenge?
Well, yeah, that's the point. That's the underlying point I was trying to make. It's more of gaming to me has always been about a certain level of competitiveness. Now, there are games to be... Go ahead.
Gaming has a element of skill, I feel.
Sure.
That
it
when
absolutely
you cheat,
does.
you take it out. You know, that's what I have a problem with cheat codes with.
Oh, completely. I agree with you there. It's one of those deals where I don't know. See, I think the whole use of cheats in games, how it's kind of spewed into multiplayer and online multiplayer, as people are starting to use like lag switches and hacks, and they'll manipulate network traffic. Like there was a recent issue with Destiny that happened to some players. Like Bungie just banhammered quite a few people for manipulating network traffic and shit in the game.
Oh yeah, I was so happy.
I don't know how that is considered. I just don't know how it got to that level. Like if you're cheating in a single player game and just manipulating it for your own experience, that's on you. That's whatever. When you do it and you're starting to take away the fun of other people's experience, that's what I have a problem with. I don't know. And you said it earlier, game is about skill. When you're doing shit in Destiny or Call of Duty or these multiplayer heavy games that require skill level, what's the point? Are you really getting better? Are you really having fun? I don't think you are. I think it's just more of just a complacency, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you're always going to win because you have a cheat on, but the second you take that off, you suck. I just don't understand where that patience of getting good at a game went out the window. And it's so few and far between.
Maybe I'm weird, but I actually like cheats if everyone can have them.
So essentially you're talking about a mod.
Well, yeah, because like if everyone has a cheat, it's no longer a cheat.
It's a modification. I would classify it as that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's kind of fun.
Well, no, I can. Okay.
Well, modding is always fun.
Modding is fun. I mean, how many times can I play Skyrim and always see Macho Man Randy Savage be the head of the dragon? Like, I will always love that. I don't care.
Skyrim mods. I play mod.
Yeah, that's true.
I was never into the modding community, and this was because I was a console gamer until like 2012. But I recently started with Fallout 3, which I thought was a good entry point because there's still a lot of mods there. And like mostly what I like in modding is I like people who update textures to make it more HD or 4K. I see textures for that, or I see like there's one called Wasteland or DC Lights and DC like Skies, which basically makes the sky actually look amazing compared to just this like blue blur it was. And like I like visual mods and things like that, but I don't like mods that basically ruin the game, which I've seen a lot of those and I've experienced some of those, but things that add instead of destroy I really like.
Okay, so what about just for example, like you say you don't like the games, you like the modifications that, change the visual aspect to make it more presentable, whatever the case may be. So are you talking about mods that affect gameplay to improve elements? Or are you talking about ones that just kind of mishmash everything together and kind of fuck up the experience?
No, I'm talking about mods like such as they will update the textures or they will add a gun that like there's iron sights mod. So like in Fallout New Vegas there were iron sights, but in 3 there weren't. With this iron sight mod you get, the iron sights from New Vegas in Fallout 3, which is something I really like because they have iron sights in the game.
Well, see, that's fine.
So it adds to it, but it doesn't ruin it.
Right. So if it was something like, let's take Fallout 3 for example, it was a mod that like revamped the whole system and totally changed the face of the game. While it may be a successful mod, it's something you wouldn't be interested in.
Not generally. Like there is a mod like that. It's called the Fallout 3 Sister mod, where basically you have a sister who escapes the vault with you, and she's like in all she has her own storyline. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I don't have interest in it.
Oh, okay. So I get it. Not the cup of tea, so to speak.
Oh,
yeah,
I love mods.
That makes sense. Yeah. See, B is on the other side of the fence here because he is like a mod junkie. He loves his moddies.
I play Skyrim with so many mods that I could actually crash the desktop if I added more.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
surprised he does. I need to know, and I only know of this through YouTube. But I'm just gonna ask: do you have the Hatsune Miku mod on Skyrim? I just need to know.
Do you have the Hatsune Miku mod? No.
What is that? I don't want it.
Apparently,
never mind.
You play the game as her.
Nope. Done. Checked out.
Will install.
Oh, Jesus Christ, B. I'm checked out. He goes, will install, will play. 500 chainsaws out of 75 heads.
I play that game. I have an E&B on there. I have lighting mods, weather mods, sky mod.
You don't have
that's like, I like
texture
weather
mod.
and sky mods. I'm fine with that, but I don't like mods. Like, there's this one mod for I'll use another game. There's a mod for Half-Life 2 where basically you're God, where if you just point your mouse and click them, they die. That's not fun to me. That's
not
just
fun.
I have a mod that actually makes me shoot arrows at the speed of like Green Arrow. Like it's super awesome. So like it takes the default draw speed and speeds it up by like 500% so I can shoot arrows for days.
So essentially you have a machine gun, bow and arrow.
It's not a machine gun.
You can click fast enough that it turns into one.
No, because you actually have to hold down a little bit
for
to
the
get
draw,
the full
right?
speed. Yeah.
Well, then it's essentially a semi-automatic rifle of arrow death. That's brilliant. That actually sounds kind of cool. I'll never download it or play it, but I will watch
playing the game as Green Arrow. It's beautiful.
What, real quickly, there's something I gotta talk about. And, every now and then we talk about superheroes. We kind of get down to the meat of some of them every now and then. And, I know I'm kind of the non-comic-y, Marvel-y DC guy, and I have a lot of weird questions about superheroes. So I gotta ask, what is the point of Green Arrow? Is there a serious story? Because I know both you watch it. Do you guys have any knowledge of
Are we
what
talking
is the
about
point?
this? What are we talking about here? Are we talking about the comics?
Character in general.
Okay. Basically, I always tell people if you want Green Arrow is basically Batman. That's essentially who he is. He's rich. He's got a very wealthy family. I mean, he doesn't have powers, but he has, money and such to afford, gadgets and whatnot. Yeah, so he basically is a superhero in the same thing. But you know how Batman's dark and broody and hates everyone? Green Arrow is more of a playboy. So Batman is too, but he's not as charismatic and open to the public as Green Arrow is. And the Green Arrow story actually introduces a lot of interesting, villains that Batman will face, Superman has fought. I mean, it's one of those series where I could see why people don't like it because it's similar to something that already exists, but it's different enough to where it isn't even the same thing. Batman, for example, has really no issue with killing people. He kind of chooses not to.
Why? Okay, go ahead.
But Green Arrow, from the start, and in the show, they don't portray this as well. But in the comics, he kills people. He's like, you know what? I kill you, that solves the problem.
So he's what Batman should be doing.
Well, Batman is a vigilante, but he's more of a hero. I mean, Green Arrow, comic-wise, is just straight-up vigilante. If he needs to kill you, he will.
Okay.
Which they portrayed in season 1 of the show, but they kind of have lost that aspect as it went on.
Now he won't kill anymore, and I'm kind of sad about that. However,
I wish he...
Can we take just a few seconds to honor the fact that at WWE he literally went in and rearranged that dude's face?
Oh fuck yeah! I saw that. That happened. Yeah. It's the new age version of RoboCop rescuing Sting from the Four Horsemen in WCW. Look it up.
Right?
That happened in real life.
I know.
RoboCop saved Sting in a wrestling match. God damn it.
But I mean, Stardust has it's funny because I keep up with it with wrestling to a degree, not
Stardust, not to my level, but I'm sure you keep up with it.
No, he's been calling out Stephen Amell on social media because he's been known as the vigilante before Arrow, and everyone likes Green Arrow more than wrestling. That's a statement that he said, not me. So I feel safe. I don't want to even.
I'm safe on this one. That wasn't me saying it.
Yeah, I'm not. I like wrestling. Don't kill me, folks. But I mean, Steven has been a wrestling fan all his life as well. So to see him, he goes to matches all the time. So, Stardust was kind of getting pissed that people were more excited for that vigilante than, what he considers. He considers himself the vigilante. So there's too many vigilantes for this town is essentially what we're starting to see. But so it's interesting.
You know you're a good actor though when you can just jump up there and literally rearrange that dude's face.
He's
Stephen
not
Amell
just an
is the
actor.
air.
He's buff.
he is the Arrow. He owns that title now, I think.
My whole thing is, it just, I understand why WWE's doing it, but it bugs the fuck out of me.
I can't wait, though, to see him fight and just literally kill this dude.
You're
have to see
assuming
it.
that he's going to win. That's what I always tell people. They're like, oh, Stephen Amell's got no competition. He may be the Arrow, but even Superman has lost fights, and Arrow has lost fights, too.
Okay.
And he can't use his arrow.
Okay, this is wrestling, Can. And whenever they bring in a celebrity, they do one of two things. They either powerbomb him off like a ape off the stage, and then they go through the balsa wood table and then land on the huge crash pad that everybody can clearly see. Or they make the actor look really, really good, like they did with Hugh Jackman, who's a huge wrestling fan. They had Damian Sandow. This is when he was promoting X-Men stuff, and Damian Sandow came out as Magneto in a very horrible Magneto-looking outfit, and he got to hip toss him. So they could do something like that. Or if it's a match, I don't know if I'd want to see that.
It's a real match, though. That's what it is.
I don't know if I want to see him go. I mean, hopefully it's like a 5-minute match, and it better be the actual wrestling better be like Diva time limit, like women wrestling time limit. It can't go on for very long.
Stephen Amell wanted, like this was against Stephen's, like, it's kind of like Apollo Creed fighting Rocky again.
Oh no, we don't want this in wrestling. Stop it. God damn it.
So, like, everyone's like, Steven, we know you're strong, but these men, this is their job. You are on a TV show. They are as well on a TV show, but yours is a drama. Theirs is, well.
Yeah, theirs is, well, no off-season actual physical injury happens.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have something called take 2 in wrestling. Unless you're on a television taping. Then there's, like, take 50 if you fuck up enough. But no, in actuality, let's be real here. In a shoot, okay, I'll be real here. I don't know if Mr. Green Arrow's gonna do too well if they put him against Lesnar or something and said, okay, you two fight. Like, I think he's gonna shit his pants.
He's going against Stardust, so
I know.
He looks like a truck compared against Stardust, though.
What? Green Arrow?
Yeah, it looks like a truck.
He does, but hey, remember, Hollywood muscle is different from wrestler muscle. Guys who are used to being flung around a fucking ring 200 days out the year.
Yeah, like that's one of the differences.
But let's be realistic about this. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. No matter what happens, dude, it's gonna be a huge money-making opportunity for WWE. They got this famous actor coming in to wrestle Stardust. Cody Rhodes is a good wrestler. He's gonna protect him, take care of him, make sure he doesn't get hurt. They'll probably embarrass Stardust, and he might lose because, there's a celebrity involved, so they'll make him look good. It is what it is, but I think it's going to be entertaining, right? I'm sure it'll be at least entertaining. The guy's at least a competent actor.
No, and like, my thing with Stephen Amell is he's a really good actor in the fact that, like, he cares about his fan base, which not a lot of, like, not saying that most actors do, but he's one of the people who will, like, live stream on Facebook all the time.
Okay.
He'll make videos to Facebook. He'll take hours on end to reply to comments I've seen. And, like, he even, like, people have told him he should get a, like, social media team, and he's like, I am my social media team. Why do I need someone else to do what I want to do?
That's a good thing, because nowadays, if you think, Vin Diesel is really tweeting you back and saying, thanks for that, good luck or whatever, it's like, no, he's not doing that. Vin Diesel is being Yo Soy Groot, doing voice dubs for the Blu-ray that's coming out. Yeah. But all in all, though, I don't know how the hell we got on wrestling, but that's fine. I'm perfectly acceptable with it. But fuck, man, we talked about a lot today. We've gone all over the fucking place, man.
The only thing we haven't talked about is that Freedom Idol is actually closed.
What? Let's talk about what happened. I didn't know about this. We got like 10 minutes left. We can brush this up for our last target.
This, right?
Not too much. I've been trying to get more out of it, but I haven't been able to get in much contact with them.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know too much either, even though I'm a member. But what I do know is that things ended up not working out. And I guess at the end of the day, they didn't get the support they needed. And they resigned from Idol. So basically, Idol closed down.
So,
this is the biggest problem we've had with the Idol project. Like, I could speak from experience, is that surprisingly, when we asked for community to give like content,
They didn't give it, did they?
no.
Nah.
And then it's like, when I think what needs to happen with the Idol Project, and I've pitched this, is I think it needs to be a show first on Freedom, maybe kind of like featured on Freedom, except actually works, but don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
But, it starts there. They show what they can do. They upload constantly. They get a fan base. Then they go to the separate Idol channel and make it completely based on viewer videos. That's what's going to build that channel. And it worked for me when I uploaded on it. And if you look up, XSplit even saw my video from there and put it on their channel. That's how much they liked it.
I mean, like,
so
one thing
it
that
helps
bothers
me, but it's difficult. Go on.
With Freedom Idol, like, this is a good example for like all the other hub channels. Like GFX, Freedom backed it. Geek, Freedom backed it. School, Freedom backed it. Freedom, in a sense, really hasn't backed Idol at all, and I think
tried,
that's why it failed.
The problem is we try, but it's been issues with who's run it, people like that. Like, we got to find someone who really cares about the community to run Freedom Idol. Not saying that Bass and Rowe did not. They do care about the community. We just need the actual community to like show up.
Yeah, and we need to get Idol advertised on the hub channel, but hub channel doesn't seem to be, the type of people that like to advertise things.
Well, who runs the hub channel?
Well,
who's responsible for it? Because those are the people who you really have to convince to get it onto the hub channel in the first place, to really give them a proposal that they'll accept. That seems to be the hardest part.
Yeah, it is. Doug Sata is a part of that. I know. Anthony and Real Sykes are, but not really. There's also the Boldy brothers. But who's in charge of it?
Yeah, that's the person you got to get in contact with.
Technically Doug Sata.
Okay.
You know what really sucks, though? Me and that dude, we don't get along.
Doesn't matter. Shouldn't matter if you get along or not if you have a good fucking business proposal. That's just that's how business works. I work with people I fucking hate. Why do I work with them? Because they do good business. I make money with them. That's how you pay your bills.
I can't stand that guy.
You can't stand me either, but we work together every Wednesday.
Is like, for example, Forum Flash. That's a show on the Hub channel. Many people know it, and many don't. But if they do know it, they really like it. I try not to post as frequently as some of the shows. Like Boldy Brothers is too frequent.
What do you mean too frequent? Is it more than once a week?
It's every day.
Oh, fuck that, dude. Once a week. Give your audience time to fucking digest the shit they saw before you post up another one.
Like, I mean, I post content daily, but that's because my channel is that. It's a Let's Play channel. And, like, I rotate it with 2 other series. So it's not the same video every day. It's, okay, if I want to watch Shovel Knight, I'll wait on the 3rd day of his upload schedule to watch it. Or, oh, I really want to watch Portal 2, wait for the 2nd day. Or if, oh, man, Half-Life 2, oh, God, we can't game in Half-Life. God.
Yeah, you're leaving something to be desired. You're leaving people wanting something from you in the sense of content-wise, like a video or a gameplay.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I feel needs to happen there. Like, that's why Forum Flash does well. Is when people see it, they're like, "Oh, thank God!" Like they don't know when it comes, but mostly that's because
It's like when I see a solo video with Anthony. It's like Forum Flash and then solo videos with Anthony are about the only things I watch, except for the one exception I made with Rehash where they were supporting a guy who was raising money for his wife. That I supported. That was great. But normally I don't watch Rehash, and I kind of stick to the good stuff.
Well, like, for me, I got offered to be on Rehash, but I find it weird to be like a picture in the corner of the screen because, like, those two are actually there, and I'm just like this weird floating
head
picture.
I'm actually tempted to submit an intro for Rehash because they want people to do it. And I was like, well,
go for it. And that'd be great exposure for Blackout too.
Mm-hmm. It totally would.
Really would.
And like, I do know that when it comes to Hub Channel, they are actually opening up to more ideas.
I still need to get in contact with HR and see about GFX because I know now that there's new HR that I can probably get in to do GFX.
Well, I messaged him for you, and I got he asked me, who is it? Like, when I said I have someone interested in GFX, so I actually have to get around to doing that.
Oh.
But best of luck to that.
If you can connect me with him, that'd be great, but we'll see.
Yes, we don't give out his personal Skype, so...
Well, yeah,
give him my email.
Yeah.
That's a professional courtesy I'll give, but I will give him your email. So...
At least put that feeler out there.
Yeah, give him my email, my Skype, I don't care. You can give out anything.
That's a dangerous thing to do.
If he adds you on his own accord, that's one thing. But like, if someone like this is just general. If someone says don't give out my information, just don't do it.
Well, it's like I actually got this idea from Mick Gahan, how he has on his Skype where it says, "Oh, don't add me to group chats and stuff like that without asking me." I started putting that in my Skype because people just spam me on end and keep giving out my Skype to people, and it causes me to get like shit tons of free graphics requests, all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, don't do it.
I looked on the forums because you send me that people are saying you're free. It doesn't say. Someone was on the forums, like someone said on the forums that people have been saying Blackout Media does free GFX, and I looked at it, and sure enough, people were.
I don't know why people are saying that we do free GFX. We don't, unless you're a partner.
I think they're confusing it with that. I think they're forgetting the crucial detail. Unless you're a partner.
Yeah, if you're a partner, we have a guy that'll do it. But even then, if you want me personally doing your stuff, you actually end up paying for it, unless you're special like you or Rum, where I actually will do it because you're friends.
Well, I don't know if you know this, B. I don't know how often you watch my gaming channel, but your graphic is at the end because YouTube's getting rid of annotation, so I stopped doing the end cards.
That's
which graphics at the end?
So
the weekend game that you also made, kind of similar to Rum's with the R and
the intro.
Yeah, well, it's now an outro for me. Yeah, because like I don't like putting things in the intro like that, but people like it. So at the end, so I found that works better.
I still love that. I'd actually like to redo it at some point now that, because I actually refined your logo, and I don't know how many people follow that stuff, but you actually sell the shirts.
Oh yeah, we've gotten a lot of sales, but ironically, it's like to weird, obscure places. Like Croydon, UK is one of the places people buy my shirts. Random towns in Ireland, people like buy the shirt.
Can't capture the Irish demographic. There you go, baby.
Great, though, like we've updated your logo 3 times, I think now, and like now it looks like super beautiful and crisp. I still have yet to get a shirt, and I'm looking to get one of those soon. But
yeah, if Spreadshirt had a way I could like give them out, I would love that. But sadly, they don't.
Yeah, you see,
need to start buying in bulk.
To Khan's Spreadshirt shop, go buy a shirt because they're freaking awesome.
I'm telling you, man. I like what he's got up there.
I tell you, now that I'm in shape, I'm so gonna buy like a tank top if it's on there and just keep rocking it.
The B is gonna be walking around downtown California and the beaches, the beach side of California, just walking around in one of those Euro Speedos, like just walking around. He's got some fucking Fanny Floss having hungry bum.
It's gonna be great though.
Oh, I'm so glad you're feeling better though, man. I really am. We were worried about you for a while.
I'm still pretty messed up, and I'm
but you sound
going on the 18th to have some stuff done.
You sound 100 times better than you did last week, or at least the week before that.
I can actually survive through the day now. I don't have too much of a hard time doing daily life. It's more or less when I try to do too much that it just kind of comes back and bites me in the ass.
Well, you're still recovering, man, so I'm at least happy you're able to move around and remain, as independent as you can, considering your health condition right now.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of people keep asking me what I'm doing about that, so to the people that actually keep asking, I'll be going in on the 18th to be checked for cancer. So go keep that on your calendars. That's going to be an interesting one. That's a shit day.
It's one of those deals where, like, and obviously, God forbid you get that. Of course we don't want that for you, but like, you're not even a smoker. You don't like, you know what I'm saying, Ken? Like, B does virtually nothing to give him cancer. Maybe eating too much processed food, but that takes too long anyway.
Yeah.
It's horrifying because it's like, dude, he doesn't even do anything to like promote it.
Well, that's one of the things. Cancer doesn't.
It does run in my family, though. So there's that downside.
There is that downside.
what can you do? Life's pretty good. So.
Well, trust me, yeah, it is good. You do have a good life, I would say.
And people did ask me why I haven't started the GoFundMe page. It's actually because GoFundMe won't support PayPal. So that's why I haven't done that.
It doesn't support PayPal?
Nope.
That's odd. That's really odd. You know what? At the very least, we could just get a donation. I think we could do like a donation drive or something. We could just send it to and like the blackout email or some separate email to where it's strictly for your medical bills.
Some people have actually asked to donate, and I've sent them my PayPal, and thanks to those people that have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful thing you guys have done. I mean, B's a lovely guy, and, I know he appreciates it, and it's going to a good cause. We're trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with this guy.
Yeah. Me and Marcel are actually talking about, because you remember how a long time ago we did the live streaming for charity?
Yeah,
and we raised some money? We're actually thinking about doing that again sometime coming up. And we're still working out the details on that. But if anyone's interested in actually being a part of the Blackout stream team, get in contact with me or Marcel, because we're trying to get that together, and it'll be definitely a way to help support charity.
I'll definitely help out for the charity. I definitely will.
Well, like, it's weird that you announced this today, because this is something that, like, I don't usually disclose because it rarely comes up, but it is, very relative to cancer and everything. But today, August 12th, is actually the day my mother passed away from her battle with lung cancer.
Right.
So this is a topic that hits really close to home for me. So if you need help with that stream, you know how to contact me, B.
I'm sure we'll be in contact. I always love having you around. So
because this is the deal, folks. A lot of people, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Cancer doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care your race. It does not care your gender. It doesn't care your sexuality. It has affected someone, somehow. Be it personally, and hopefully I hope you come out clear. That's the best news I want to hear. I don't want to hear anything like that. But God forbid you have it. We will be here with you, and we'll help any way we can.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, if the worst does happen, you're not fucking alone.
Because we did talk to doctors about it. They said that worst case scenario, it would be removable. So
at least you got that.
Yeah. So at the very worst case scenario, I'll be out for a few weeks.
Not for nothing. If the worst does happen, at least it's removable or treatable. To a degree where you can. Yeah, to where you can get a semblance of normal back in your life.
Yeah.
And we love you, man. We love you. So really, keep us up to date on that. Now, I know the Blackout partners are curious about it too, so we'll be giving updates as the weeks progress on, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I told people, I was like, hey guys, you can tweet me, and I'll answer anything you want as long as I'm awake.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Absolutely.
I love talking to people.
And we love you guys too. Blackout partners, everybody who shows up, listen to the show, new people, reoccurring old people. We love you to death. And that's going to wrap up an hour of Blackout today. We went a little over, but I think it was warranted considering Ken was on, and last week's show was all fucked up. But yeah, talk about the giveaway real quickly before we go off today.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and get a little something up on the website that'll talk about it, but there's going to be a code that we're going to give away, and it's basically a discount code to play Asia, so anyone that likes to play Japanese-ish or Asian games and wants to have stuff imported, we're going to give away a $5 off code. So I'll have details up on that later. It's going to be through the Gleam.io thing that Con recommended, so look out on Twitter for links to that.
Badass people. Can, shout out some links, brother.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at CanFilmProducts. You can find me on YouTube at WeCanGame, WeCanVlog, or CanFilmProductions. And you can also find me at Facebook at CanFilmProducts.
Badass, my friend. Bad fucking ass. B.
Yep.
B.
Yeah, get on the links. You guys can find me on Twitter at BeoriginalGFX. You can go on YouTube for Beoriginaldesigns. And if you want to follow Blackout Media, just go to blackoutmedia.net or any of our social media, basically Facebook, Twitter, it's all Blackout Media SM.
Pretty much, peoples, and that is the end of an hour of Blackout today. I'm Rumandapples. Follow me on Twitter at Everything Is Rum. Go to the YouTube channel. Slap the shit out of it. Slap the shit out that subscribe button. Yeah, I got a goal to get more subscribers, more Apple cores. Let's make a cult out of this motherfucker. All right, everybody, have a good one. Goodbye. And we say goodbye on a song. Goodbye. All right, I'm gonna go get high. Later.